In this video I'll be going over the continuation of the C# tutorials. So we'll be going over tokenizing strings. So sometimes a string contains a series of words or other items of data separated by spaces or other characters. So for example, we could have the string like this, so like a string here. Excuse me, so let's say that we have a string str points to peach. Let's go with peach, plum, strawberry, and vanilla. So basically we have, so this string contains 4 tokens, they call them. It's kind of like an old school word. So you know, if you play like an old kind of arcade game, they take tokens to play. I don't know why they called it tokens, but pretty much there's 4 items of data in the string: peach, plum, strawberry, vanilla. And so in programming terms, items such as these are known as tokens. May have been from another language. I'm not sure exactly. So notice that a space between, so there's some terms to know here, so these are kind of tricky terms that you don't really think of on a regular basis. I would just think of this as a string, and inside the string we have elements or items. Sometimes the older languages, they call them tokens versus newer languages. So for example here, we have tokenizing strings. I believe it's derived from C and Java. The tokenizing keyword, or like the actual concept. But perhaps this could be older than that, something I wouldn't know, like Pascal and Fortran and COBOL and all that stuff. So pretty much, so we have, so in this string, in the string example, we have 4 tokens, and oops, I don't need the comment, the extra comment. We have, let's just see the string here, so we can see the string here. So 4 tokens in the string. So a delimiter, or okay, let's go with this. Let's say a token is an item or element in the string, and a delimiter is, for example, in this case, in our string, then it's the space. It's the white space, or like a space. But a delimiter can, so a delimiter may not always be a space. It can be whatever you choose, whatever you want it to be. So it can also be a comma. It can be anything. It can be any kind of symbol you want. So let's just see what we have here. So we could change the string here. So let's say that we have another string. So we could say that we have a bunch of numbers here. How many numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different numbers. So let's say we have 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, comma 5, comma 6. So in this case, the string contains the following tokens: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice that a semicolon appears between each item. So actually, sorry, I should have been a semicolon. Could be a comma though. We could make the comma a delimiter as well. So in this case, what's a delimiter? Well, if you said semicolon, that should be correct. So the semicolon is used as a delimiter, so it is correct. Some programming problems require you to read a string that contains a list of items and then extract all the tokens from the string. So sometimes you may search through a string but want to take out some symbols, so that's where the tokenizing string comes in. tokenizing strings. So let's say we have a date here. So we could say that we have like 3-21-2017. So pretty much that would be, let's say you want to extract that, you want to get the date and the numbers out of that. You want to get the numbers out of the string, but you want to, basically you just want to use the string with the numbers, but you want to take out the numbers and separate it from the dashes or hyphens. So we could say, so pretty much in this case the delimiter is a hyphen character. The delimiter is a hyphen. So if the delimiter is the hyphen, then pretty much you want to, let's pretend you want to take the hyphen out. So the process of breaking a string into tokens is known as tokenizing. So let's write that down here. So breaking a string into tokens is known as tokenizing. So breaking a string into tokens is known as tokenizing a string. So in C#, string objects have a method named split that is used to tokenize a string. So split method. So when you call a string objects split method, the method extracts tokens from the string and returns them as an array of strings. So each, I believe that's not always the case. I'm not sure if it always returns them as an array, but in C# it does it this way. So each element in the array is one of the tokens. So we'll look at two ways to call the split method. The first way is to pass the value null as an argument. So we haven't used null that much, so it's good practice here. It's good practice. But once again, you can just use null when you want something to not point to an object. If you want to set an object to not point to an object or something like that. So pretty much that's what happens. There may be times when you need to use null. Mostly in data structure stuff, you may use them with just like normal data processing stuff that we do. Sometimes we do a little bit of data structures like we did with arrays. There's going to be one coming up. I think it's an image view. That's a special GUI data structure. But we'll just look at an example here. Okay, so let's just see what else we have. So when you pass null as an argument to the split method, the method tokenizes a string using whitespace characters as delimiters. Whitespace characters are the space tab, line feed, character turn, form feed, vertical tab, and new line characters. So I actually forgot what some of those are. I don't use them often. not sure if we covered all of them. We probably have covered at least a few of them. I know in Java I covered all of them. I'm not sure if I have that video. Pretty much when you learn all of those, they use it for every language. So they just teach you once and then you forget. So the method, if you're looking for those, just look for escape sequences in C#. I think we did some of them. I'm not sure if we did all of them. I forgot now. So the method returns a string array, each element of the array containing one. So the method returns a string array with each element of the array containing one of the tokens. So for example, we'd get, if we have like our fruit example, which is gone now, but if we get it back, then we'll have, for example, like peach in the first index 0, plum in index 1, strawberries in index 2, and vanilla in index 3. Okay, so let's just try an example here. So let's just delete this code here. So you can say that we have a string str which points to, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can get the tokens from the string. So you have to create a string array named token, so we go string array. Actually, I have to go private string array, so private string array tokens points to str.split. What happened there? Okay, no, we won't be able to do it in there. So we'll just declare that tokens array, string array, and then in the constructor we'll do it. So here we'll say string array tokens points to str.split, passing in null. Okay, so sorry, just adjusting the mic here. Okay, so we're going to create a string. Okay, so why do we pass in null again? So when you pass null as an argument to the split method, the method tokenizes. Okay, I remember why. Okay, so this is tricky to remember, kind of. So when you pass in, I think this is the same in Java. So when you pass, but it's not the same method name, I believe, in Java. So when you pass null as an argument, so the argument's going to be what you want the delimiter to be, I believe. So when you pass null as an argument to the split method, the method tokenizes the string using white space characters as default. As delimiters. Or as delimiters by default. Or as the, yeah, I guess, as the delimiter or delimiters by default. So in this case, it's going to search through this string here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's going to use the space between 1 and 2, the space between 2 and 3, and the space between 3 and 4 as the delimiters. So that's the space here, the white space is a delimiter. So when you pass in null, then by default the white space is a delimiter. Okay, so then here we'll loop through using a for each loop. So what do we have here so far? So we have str points to our string. We define, instantiate, and initialize, or basically we just initialize a string. So basically a string array tokens points to str.split, passing in null as an argument. So now str, so this automatically gets converted to all the indexes. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, it's that all these, so this is our string here. We have 4 tokens in this string separated by a white space delimiter. So basically when you instantiate and initialize this array, the string array. So we go str array tokens points to str.split passing in null. This str.split passing in null is going to format the string for you. It's going to put the string 1 in string array index 0, 2 in string array index 1, 3 in string array index 2, and 4 in string array index 3. So that's what the method does when you pass in null and point it to a string object. It initializes, this string array is going to be initialized to point to the tokens in the string in the string indexes. So now we'll just loop through and show that. So for example, for each string str, actually no, we call something let's just go string str val in, let's type this out again, so let's go for each string str val in, what are we trying to search through? Okay, so tokens, I guess, because you're storing everything in the tokens, in the array. You're storing the tokens in the string array tokens. Now we want to loop through the array. Could have called this tokens array or something. Let's go with tokens array then. So tokens array, we'll call this tokens array. Then here we'll, so we'll say messagebox.show str val. So I'll show you what's going to be printed. I'll tell you because the pop-up box won't be caught by this recorder. So a pop-up's going to come on the screen. It's going to be like a Windows pop-up. Okay, so it tells us 1. I'm going to hit OK. Then it tells us 2. I'm going to hit OK. Then 3. Hit OK. Then 4. That's it. So if you actually want to see these in the memory, you could do this in a local method and kind of just look at the indexes. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Okay, so the second way that we call the split method is to pass a character array as an argument. So it's a little tricky because you can't just, I don't think you can, but you're supposed to pass in pretty much the character array. You might be able to get by passing just a character to it. You can always try. I don't remember passing a character array in Java, but I could be wrong. So here let's just try something else. So string str points to, we'll now separate these with semicolons. We could go with commas here in this case. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. We have our string array tokens point. Okay, we're going to change this here. Then we're also going to have something else here. So we'll say that we have a private char array. We're going to initialize it. So we'll say that we have a private character array dlim points to an initialization list. So go with one character in it, which is going to be the comma. Then we'll just close that. Then we have a private string array tokens. Whoops, I did a double declaration here. We'll go with tokens array. We'll take string str out. Okay, so we have private string tokens array. we go tokens str array. Actually, that's fine. Just go with tokens array. We have our character delim points to this comma. Then down here we'll have tokens array points to str.split and then passing in delim. Okay. It's a tricky one to do. So we'll pass in delim here and then maybe let's just do this one again because it's kind of tricky here. So let's just take this out. We'll take this out. Okay, so let's start again here. So we have, for example, string str points to 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Separated by commas in the string, no spaces. So then we have in the so we're going to need something else here. So we'll have our character delimiter array. So then here we'll say character array delim points to an initialization list. Actually, no, we can't do that there. So in the constructor, then we'll say delim points to initialization list, points to an initialization list. Then we'll go with putting a character in there, comma, then semicolon. Why can't you do that? Something wrong with that. No. Okay. This can only be done. Can you do this whole thing? Should be able to actually. Let's take this out and put that. No, what else is wrong here? Oh, sorry, forgot the comma with the single quotations. Okay, that works. Okay, so then now we'll have another string array here. Yeah, we're gonna have another string array here. So private string array tokens declared. Then in the constructor we'll say that tokens, actually let's go with something else here. Token, let's go with str array tokens. Then we'll go with, why is this always one space? Okay, never mind. So here we'll go with str array tokens points to str.split passing in delim. Then we'll say, we'll loop through, so we'll say for each str val in, we want to loop through, what do we want to loop through? We want to loop through the string array, so we'll go str array, whoops. I think we have to initialize the type here, so, or declare the type, so string str val, and I guess we're kind of initializing it to the list, so string str val in str array tokens. That should work, hopefully. Okay, then we'll say, so now string val is going to point to each index and at each iteration. We want to message box dot show str val on each iteration. Now let's print it out.